guys, welcome to your daily WOD Briefing. Today is Wednesday, April 29th, and I'm going to take you guys through your details for the workout for the day. Let's go ahead and start with your warm-up. You guys have 10 burpees, a 1-minute yoga squat hold, 10 toe pulls, those are going to be on each side, 5 inchworms with a push-up, 10 hurdle steps, those are going to be total but forward and then back, 10 good mornings, 10 upright rows, 10 deadlifts, and then you will finish with 10 more burpees. Okay, let's go ahead and jump into the movements. So on your burpees, I'm sure you guys know what these look like, but hands are going to hit the floor. You're going to jump back, chest and quads touch the ground. Keep your feet wide, right? They're going to land in your squat stance, shoulders and hips open up at the top, okay? If we need to scale these, we can scale to a step back, or we can even go burpee, no push-up. Okay. Next, you guys have a 1-minute yoga squat hold. So what you guys are going to do, we're going to start to kind of loosen up the hips, but also start to turn on the glutes. Feet are going to be in a wide squat stance, so wider than your normal squat stance. Normally we squat at about shoulder width distance apart. We're going to get a little bit wider than that. All right. We're going to send our hips back. Knees are going to go out. Elbows are going to go on the inside of your knee, and you're going to press your chest up and out. So our goal here is to maintain a vertical torso, all right? Also, I want you guys to focus on using those elbows to push those knees out, right? We're squeezing our butt cheeks, trying to track those knees to be on top of those ankles in the very bottom of this squat. So you hold this for 1 minute, all right? Next, you guys have your toe pulls. So you guys are gonna reach with your heel. Opposite hand's gonna touch opposite toe. We're looking for a stretch back in the hamstring. Once you touch that toe, go ahead and come back up and then switch sides. Okay, you're gonna give me 10 each side. Okay, we're going for a slight stretch back in those hamstrings. Next, you guys have your hurdle steps. We're gonna go forward and back with these 10 total, so 5 each side. With your hurdle steps, you guys wanna imagine there's a big hurdle in front of you, and you're having to lift your foot up and over that hurdle, okay? So we're gonna go up and over that hurdle. Take your time on these guys. Make sure you're really getting full range of motion on these hurdle steps. Okay, on the way back, you're gonna lift your foot again, up and over, but now we're going in a backwards direction, okay? Take your time, make sure we're getting full hip rotation on those hurdle steps. Next, you guys have 10 good mornings. On your good mornings, we're going to have a slight bend to the knee. Hips are gonna be at about hip width distance. Okay, so slight bend in the knee, we're gonna push the hips back, we're gonna load up the hamstrings, we're gonna reach for the ground, and then on the way up, we're gonna reach up and back, and we're looking for a really big core stretch. Okay, take your time on these, get a good stretch in, don't rush through your good mornings, okay? Next, you guys have 10 upright rows, so you're gonna grab some kind of light weight. This can be a dumbbell, it could be a kettlebell, it could be an odd object, but I want something that's gonna be relatively light. We're just getting warmed up, so there's no need to push that weight right now. Okay, but on your upright rows, feet are going to be under your hips, hands are going to be together. You're going to pull your belly button back towards your spine, get your shoulder blades locked up, back, and then down to get your shoulders stacked on top of your hips. You're going to give me a big shrug, so bring your shoulders to your ears, and then pull your hands to be just below the collarbone while keeping your elbows nice and high, okay? So tight tummy, big shrug, elbows come high, right? Make sure on your upright rows, you guys aren't letting those elbows drop. They're not coming down and back, they're coming up above whatever you're using to pull, all right? Next, you guys have 10 deadlifts. So you guys, again, can grab that odd object. You guys can use both hands, you can use one hand, depends on what object you have, but your form will stay, generally speaking, the same. So you're gonna grab that object, you're gonna get your shoulders up, back, and then down, okay? Feet are gonna be underneath your hips. And what we're gonna do is we're going to hinge the hips, okay? We're gonna keep our knees stacked on top of our ankles, so we're trying to maintain a vertical shin here. And then from here, we're gonna push the floor away, keep our shoulders back, drive through our heels and stand all the way up. Okay, so back stays nice and straight. That weight stays nice and close to your body. If you're working with a barbell, try and have that object touch your shin, right, guiding your shin. If you're working with an odd object, just keep it as close to your body as possible. If you're working an odd object, just one object, you guys can go 10 on the right, 10 on the left, or you can that object and work your deadlift like that. Next, you guys have 10 more burpees. So whatever you guys did at the beginning, go ahead and do that again, all right? Okay, let's go ahead and jump into part 1. Today for part 1, you guys have sumo deadlifts. Okay, you guys have a set of 10, a set of 8, a set of 6, and then 3 sets of 4, okay? We're gonna work as heavy as possible across the board with these. Again, the weight will kind of vary depending on what you guys have available, but this is as heavy as possible, given, equipment allows. So let's go ahead and talk about your sumo deadlift. I'm gonna be doing these with one arm and one dumbbell because that's what I have. And I'm gonna be in a wide sumo stance. So whether you're doing these with an odd object, a dumbbell, a kettlebell, or a barbell, your form will, generally speaking, stay the same. So they're gonna be in a wide sumo stance. Think of like a sumo wrestler, right? Kind of silly, but it works. When you guys set up in the sumo position, you want your toes to be pointed out at an angle, and that's gonna allow your knees to push out, your butt cheeks to turn on, and again, you're gonna have proper tracking over those ankles. So toes are pointed out, I'm in a wide sumo stance, and let's go ahead and build our deadlift from the top down. So I'm gonna grab this dumbbell, and with this dumbbell, I wanna keep it as center on the midline of my body as possible, okay? From here, my shoulders go up, back, and then down. I'm going to hip hinge, and I'm gonna start to drive my knees out. So I'm pushing my hips back, my knees are going out, I'm going to load up my butt cheeks and my hamstrings. That weight will touch the floor, shoulders stay back, I'll drive through my heels and stand all the way up. Okay, so hip hinge, knees go out, drive through my heels, stand all the way up. Shoulders are staying back the whole time. My lats stay tight to keep the object nice and close to my body. Okay, from the side, again, wide sumo stance. Okay, so wide sumo stance, toes are pointed out at a slight angle. If you're not sure where you should be going here, think of maintaining a vertical shin. You do want your ankle to be slightly in front of your knee, so when you set up, there will be a slight slant here. However, those knees should be pushing out, tracking over your ankle. So again, I'll start at the top. Dumbbell stays close to the midline of my body. I'm going to hip hinge. I'm going to push my knees out. I'm going to drive through my heels, stand all the way up. Making sure my shoulders stay back and my lats stay tight all the way through, okay? If you guys are working a single object, it's gonna be 10 total, 8 total, 6 total, 4 total, but switch hands. So do 5 on the right side and then 5 on the left side. Okay, make sure you even out that grip. Make sure you guys are giving yourself about 2 minutes of rest between each set. We have plenty of time to work through this today, so don't rush your strength sets, okay? Give yourself about 2 minutes of rest between each working set. All right, let's go and talk about part 2. The cream rises. You have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20 of 2 movements. You guys have a sumo deadlift high pull, and then you guys have burpees. So you'll do 2 sumo deadlift high pulls, 2 burpees, 4 sumo deadlift high pulls, 4 burpees, and you'll continue up that ladder until you finish with 20 and 20, all right? Let's talk about this sumo deadlift high pull. So we already have the sumo deadlift part solid, right? We already did a bunch of those in part 1. Next is gonna be adding the high pull. So for the sake of demonstrating, guys, I'm gonna be using one dumbbell, but I'm gonna be using both hands because I have the dumbbell. And what this is going to look like is this. Okay, so what's happening here? Feet again are in that sumo stance, right? Nice and wide, toes pointed out at an angle. Hips are gonna go back, knees are going to go out. I'm going to keep that object nice and tight to my body. So I'm making sure as I go down, again, it stays super tight underneath my midline. Now, from here, I'm going to drive through my heels. Hips are gonna open all the way up. I'm gonna maintain a vertical torso. I'll get my shrug in, and my elbows will come nice and high, okay? But what I wanna do is use my hips to propel that dumbbell to come up. So I'm going to drive through my heels, hips open up, dumbbell comes up nice and high. Okay, so from the side, shoulders stay back, back stay straight, hips go back. We're loading up the glutes and the hamstrings. We're gonna drive through our heels, hips open all the way up. Elbows come high in that high pull or that upright row position that we warmed up in your warm up. A couple things you don't want to do in this. I don't want to see you guys segmenting the movement, right? We should be using our butt cheeks and our hips to propel that dumbbell or that barbell or whatever we have up, okay? So use your hips, pop, okay? Don't round your back, right? None of this stuff. That's only gonna set yourself up for injury, okay? Last but not least is on that high pull, guys, make sure your elbows are coming up, not to the side and not down, right? Everything is staying up and that weight or barbell or object is gonna end somewhere just below the clavicle, all right? Last but not least, you guys have your burpees. In case you guys missed the warm up, hands are gonna touch the ground, feet stay wide. Chest and quads hit the floor, feet hit the ground, shoulders, hips open up at the top. Make sure you guys aren't doing that kind of burpee, right? We wanna get super tall and get lift up off the floor. If we need to scale, we can scale to step backs with a push up, or we can go step backs, no push up, okay? That's your WOD for the day. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to leave a comment below. We'll get back to you as quickly as we can. And if you guys are doing 21-day challenge, I hope it's going well. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. We'd love to chat with you guys about that. Have a great rest of your day.